Hello everybody and welcome to my new project that I am calling Japanese Wrestling with the Maritime Warrior. So what I'm going to do with this series is basically anytime I want to talk about Japanese wrestling, I'm going to come on here and talk Japanese wrestling. Could talk about a promotion, could talk about a wrestler, could talk about a match, could talk about a show. Whatever I feel like talking about Japanese wrestling, I'm going to talk about it. And for my first episode, I'm going to talk about a promotion that I found on YouTube last year. We are going to be talking about GLEAT. Now, I know what you're going to say. It's spelled GLEAT, but trust me, it's pronounced GREAT. GLEAT was founded in 2020 by former Noah parent company LIDET Entertainment after the acquisition of Noah and DDT by Cyber Agent. The company is run by Hiroyuki Suzuki and former shoot wrestler Kiyoshi Tamura. What I find really interesting about this company is it's a mix of pro wrestling and shoot style wrestling like the old UWF. And I don't mean they use both in the same matches. There's a pro wrestling division and a shoot style division called LIDET UWF. GLEAT's first show was held on October 15, 2020 with a main event of Noah's Segura-gun of Takashi Segura, Kazuyuki Fujita, and Kendo Kashin versus Jun Akiyama, Shuhei Taniguchi, and Daisuke Sakimoto. One of the things that first got my eye on the product is the fact that Strong Hearts, Shima, L. Lindemann, and T-Hawk joined the promotion after they left Oriental Wrestling Entertainment. Other than Strong Hearts, a few other stables in GLEAT include the Black Generation International, Bulk Orchestra, and Jan's family. GLEAT would announce a tournament to crown their first world champion. This title would be known as the G-Rex Championship. This is another reason why this company caught my eye. When you can think outside the box, that's always a plus for me. They could have easily called it the GLEAT World Championship, but they didn't. They chose the G-Rex, and I respect that a lot. It kind of reminds me of here in the Maritimes, there's a promotion called Real Savage Pro Wrestling, and their first title that was announced is called the All Territory Elite title. It's not a traditional name that you would have for a title belt, but I love that. It makes you stand out from the rest. It's one of the main reasons I started watching Dragon Gate back in the day, because they didn't have a world title. They had an Open the Dream Gate title as their world title. Their tag titles, it's the Open the Twin Gates. Their trios title, Open the Triangle Gate. Their secondary title, the Open the Brave Gate. They even had a comedy belt, the Open the Oware Gate title. Now, I do love the classics, like the WWF World Heavyweight title. When I say Ultimate Warrior, WWF World Heavyweight Champion, it's got a ring to it. That's my one Ultimate Warrior mention of the video. And it would have been fine if they would have went with a World Heavyweight title. But sticking out from the pack like this, beautiful. And it's not just with their world title, they did it with their tag titles as well. But before we get into their tag titles, I'm just going to give you the stats for the G-Rex title. First champion was L. Lindemann. He had 9 matches, 7 title defenses, held the title 320 days. The second champion was Kaito Ishida. He had 3 matches, 1 defense, 94 days. He would lose the title to the third champion, T-Hawk. 7 matches, 5 successful title defenses, 262 days. He would lose the title to Hayato Tamura, who is the current champion, has no title defenses. GLEAT's tag team titles would be known as the G-Infinity titles. The first champions would be crowned on August 24th, 2022, when Bulk Orchestra's Kazuma Sakamoto and Ryuichi Kawakami would win a tournament to be crowned the first champions. Their title reign would be very short-lived. They would only hold the titles for 11 days, and they would lose the titles to their own teammates from Bulk Orchestra, Check Shimatani and Hayato Tamura. Hayato Tamura seems to be someone they are very high on. He was one half of the G-Infinity Tag Team Champions. He currently has the G-Rex title, so this could be a potential ace for this company. And now for some stats on the G-Infinity title. The first champions, Bulk Orchestra, Kazuma Sakamoto and Ryuichi Kawakami, 11 days, 2 matches, no title defenses. The second champions, also from Bulk Orchestra, Check Shimatani and Hayato Tamura. They had 9 matches, 7 successful title defenses, 276 days as the champions. And the current champions from All Japan Pro Wrestling, Jun and Rei Saito. They have 10 matches with the belts, 9 successful title defenses, and over 220 days as champion. This is one of my favorite tag teams to watch right now. In All Japan, they are also currently the All Japan World Tag Team Champions. So they literally have 3 belts on them, because the All Japan World Tag Team titles is comprised of the old NWA International Tag Team titles and the PWF Tag Team titles. They have just been dominating the tag team scene in both All Japan and in GLEAT. 9 successful title defenses. 3 of those title defenses came in All Japan. The third title that they have is called the LIDET UWF title. Now, UWF is a legendary promotion in the world of pro wrestling in Japan. The original UWF came in the mid-80s with Satoru Sayama and Akira Maeda, and a bunch of other wrestlers that came from New Japan and All Japan and the old IWE promotion. Maeda and Sayama were the 2 big stars. They had left New Japan to form UWF. There was one UWF heavyweight title that was held by Akira Maeda. He held it for 120 days in 1984. He was the only man to hold the UWF heavyweight title, and it was his only singles title. Maeda would hold the IWGP tag team titles twice, but his only singles title was in the original UWF. When the original UWF would fold, Maeda and a bunch of his guys would go back to New Japan Pro Wrestling. This would come after a match in 1985 where Satoru Sayama and Akira Maeda would have a match, and they couldn't decide on a finish. They couldn't decide on who was going to win, so they just basically had a shoot match, unscripted, in the ring, and it ended when Akira Maeda kneed Sayama in the groin, and the company would fold not long after that. Satoru Sayama, we would not hear from him for almost 10 years, and Maeda would be on his way back to New Japan, and we would not hear the last of him causing trouble. In 1986, Maeda was in a match with Andre the Giant. When he started shoot-kicking Andre's legs, it was rumored that either Andre was drunk or Inoki told Andre to roughen up Maeda, or both, but they just stopped working. Andre was trying to catch him. Maeda started shoot-kicking him, even took Andre down, and that was pretty much it for that match. Akira Maeda's final match in New Japan would actually be a shoot incident again. He would be in a 6-man tag team match with Riki Choshu. Choshu was putting on the sharpshooter on an opponent, and Maeda would come into the ring and shoot kick him right in the face, breaking his orbital bone. He would be suspended, Maeda would be, and he would say, "Nope, I quit." And he would create UWF 2.0. UWF 2.0's biggest event would happen in November 1989, the U Cosmos event, and in 1990 they would have their final year before folding, and Nobuhiko Takada would create the UWFI in 1991. UWFI would actually have a championship belt called the Real World Heavyweight Championship, and it would be Lou Thesz's old World Heavyweight title, held by Nobuhiko Takada, Big Van Vader, and Nobuhiko Takada once again before the company would fold. Now you're probably thinking, I thought this was a video about GLEAT. Why is he talking about UWF? Well, it's important to show you the history of the UWF because the UWF title is back. This time known as the LIDET UWF title. It doesn't hold the same lineage that Akira Maeda's belt did, but it is a new belt and it is in GLEAT. And the first man to hold the LIDET UWF title is Takanori Ito. Now, the LIDET UWF title is basically what I would call a gimmick belt. Basically a title that has a stipulation to it. So the LIDET UWF title has a point system to it. You start off with 5 points. If you get knocked down, the referee starts his count. If you get up, you lose a point. But you still don't lose the fight because you got up, but you did lose that point. If you get caught in a submission hold and you have to grab the ropes, you lose a point. Now, if you lose all your points, you lose the match. And those are the UWF rules. And every title match has to be contested under UWF rules. They have other matches on the card that are UWF style matches as well. Now for the stats on the LIDET UWF title. Takanori Ito is the first champion. 2 matches, 0 title defenses, only 24 days as the champion, and there's only one more champion after that. Fujita Junior Hayato. He is the current champion. He has 1 title defense, 2 matches, and is also currently the Tohoku Junior Heavyweight Champion from Michinoku Pro Wrestling. He has been with Michinoku Pro Wrestling since the mid-2000s. He was always one of my favorite guys to watch, and seeing him finally get another title that's not the Tohoku Junior Heavyweight title, I was very happy to see that. You probably noticed that I am a big fan of championship belts and championship belt stats and all that. I also love collecting championship belts. I have the White Strap Winged Eagle World title, WWF World Heavyweight title, that is. So the design of a title is always super important to me. And one thing that I noticed about the GLEAT title belts is that the leather seems very stiff. So not a very flexible strap, but I enjoy the look of these belts. If I had to rank them, I would probably go number 1, the UWF belt. I don't know what it is about that belt. I just love that design. Number 2 would be the G-Rex belt. It is the world title. It needs to look great. It does look like a world title too. Really love that design. My favorite guy that held the belt is T-Hawk. I really enjoyed his reign. A championship reign to me can't be too long, can't be too short. 262 days, that's perfectly fine right there. So T-Hawk's reign was my favorite. And in third place would be the G Infinity belts. The current champions, the Saito brothers, absolutely love this tag team. The fact that they hold these belts in the All Japan tag team titles, it's really cool. I do feel like they will lose the G Infinity belts very soon. I hope they do anyway. I don't want their reign to be too long. They've already had a bunch of title defenses, so I hope they lose them pretty soon so they can focus on the All Japan World Tag Team titles. And yeah, they've had a great run with the G Infinity belts, so they really don't need them anymore. And it goes without saying, they are my favorite G Infinity champions. Now, if you would be interested in searching out GLEAT, everything is on YouTube. They're full shows, 2 hours, 3 hours. It's all on YouTube, all free. Like I said, stars like Strong Hearts, Shima, El Lindemann, and T-Hawk are there. Minoru Tanaka is there. Fujita Junior Hayato from Michinoku Pro, he wrestles there. There's Black Generation International. There's Bulk Orchestra. There's a bunch of great stuff in GLEAT. They just had a huge show on December 30th, 2023. They had the G-Rex title on the line, Hayato Tamura versus T-Hawk. The G Infinity title was on the line. The Saito brothers, they took on Soma Watanabe and Yuya Susumu. And Fujita Junior Hayato defended the LIDET UWF title versus Minoru Tanaka. Really, really good stuff here. So my whole point in doing these videos, you might think this is just a rambling man, he's crazy, but it's to try and show what Japanese pro wrestling is. I try to follow as much wrestling as I can, whether it be from North America, Japan, Mexico. I just love professional wrestling, and when I can find a promotion like this and try and give it a few eyeballs on the product, I will do it. So I hope you enjoyed this first episode of Japanese Wrestling with the Maritime Warrior. I don't have a set schedule yet on this series. My first series, Wrestling in 1990, will be 1 episode a month. It'll always be on a Friday at 6 p.m., but that leaves me a lot of time to make other projects like this series right here. Most of my episodes will be coming out on Fridays because I am a part of a few other podcasts, Wrestling with the Bros and the unofficial BSHL Podcast. Wrestling with the Bros is coming out on Wednesdays now and on Saturdays and Sundays, and the BSHL is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I don't really want to go into these days because they're already booked on stuff that I have. So Fridays will be the Maritime Warrior show. And with that, that's the end of episode 1 of Japanese Wrestling with the Maritime Warrior. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, I know sometimes I can be rambly and ranty, but I really enjoy doing this, and I hope you guys enjoy listening to me give my opinions on professional wrestling. And with that, thank you again, and have a great day.